Our man JT Sounds, thank you so much for the contribution. And it's an apt reminder for everyone out there that we've got the super chat on. So the only thing I'll say there regarding the super chat is just kind of sit back, absorb, and understand the value and the contribution that Cam brings and that we bring overall here on the channel, and just respond accordingly to the super chat and the contribution that you can make here to Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, and to Cam's appearance here each and every week. JT Sounds is asking Cam about the Deerfield Beach 2020 wide receiver Xavier Restrepo, who is committed to Miami, and your thoughts about that commitment.
Very nice. That was the wrong emphasis in Spanish. It's Restrepo. But you did well.
One more time, Cam, Restrepo. I'll get it. Okay.
Yeah.
I've got a couple years to work on that.
Yeah. I mean, well, he's coming next year, so 1 year. But yeah, Xavier Restrepo used to be at St. Thomas Aquinas. He transferred over to Deerfield Beach this offseason, and he's playing up there. Very, very talented wide receiver crew they have up there. Jawan McDougal is another kid who's up there. Bryce Gowdy, I want to say, is another kid who's there. But anyway, Restrepo he's just a kid who makes plays. And I know that he gets overlooked a little bit because, he's Hispanic and he's 5'10". But, I mean, if you look at his highlight film from St. Thomas Aquinas, kid was always open, and he catches the ball and he makes plays. He's a guy who, is more athletic than you think. And maybe that's just a little bit of bias from, if you just look at him in a jersey, you're like, oh, this kid's not like a wide receiver. He's a technician as a route runner. I mean, he's a perfect slot guy. He's that Wes Welker, Braxton Berrios kind of dude who has wiggle, but more athleticism than you think, and he's going to catch the ball. He's good as a punt returner. He's good as a kick returner, and he's going to find a role on this team. I know he's a 3-star recruit at a premium position at wide receiver, but he's the kind of guy that Miami has overlooked for too long. He's not as fast as this guy I'm going to mention, but it's the same kind of a thing with Isaiah Joystick McKenzie back when he was at American Heritage, who wanted to come to Miami, and Miami said, no, you're too small. Now, there's a duality here that's going on, because there's a lot of people who say that they would take a South Florida 3-star over an out-of-state 5-star. You know what I mean? That going up against premium competition from either Florida or especially South Florida, even if you're a 3-star, you have a better ability to translate that forward. And Miami wants guys, or the fan base wants guys who want to beat Canes. David Wilson of the Miami Herald wrote a profile of Restrepo, where Restrepo said since he was 5 or 6 years old, this is what he wanted to do. He wanted to be a Cane. If he's 18 years old, 13 years ago, that's like 05, 06. Miami wasn't good. You know what I mean? Like, we're not winning games like that. But ever since then, he was like, yo, I want to be a Hurricane. So if you got a 3-star guy who, again, you're going to say, and he played at St. Thomas Aquinas, won championships there, played big roles in big games there. He's now at Deerfield Beach, which is another 7A or 8A school, So the biggest classification in Florida, coming up from the second largest classification in the state of Florida with St. Thomas Aquinas. He's played the elite of the elite, and obviously St. Thomas plays out-of-town teams. They play national teams. They played Bosco with Chris Steele last year, the 5-star recruit at cornerback, and Aquinas played them. Dude, he's done it when the lights are brightest. And then I see some people who are like, I don't know. Dude, he's that 3-star that you say that you want. He fits that role at slot receiver perfectly, and he's a guy who wants to be here more than anything else. He apparently tried to commit, Xavier Restrepo that is, he tried to commit earlier this spring, and Miami said, hey, wait a minute, because they wanted to see him during the spring a little bit more, and then gave him the green light. And once that green light happened, then he took it. Bro, what are you waiting for? Is he going to be Andre Johnson, Michael Irvin? Probably not. But he doesn't have to be a very good player in the rotation and at a niche kind of position in slot / maybe some return. So me, myself personally, I'm a big fan of the take. I'm a fan of, again, taking those guys who want to be here, who have the ability to be here, right? If you're talking about Joe Schmo, who, is not, a football player or he's not a good player, he doesn't get off the bench. And I mean, look, I am not going to call this kid's name, but there was a kid. And actually, I've worked at a couple different high schools, so I'm not even going to tell you which one. But there was a kid one time who was like everybody's uniform All-American. You come out that tunnel or out of the school building to the field, and you're like, oh my God, who was that? Built like boom, boom, all this stuff. And he made 0 plays because he didn't even play on special teams. You know what I mean? So that guy who doesn't have the ability to be a Miami player, no, I don't want him, even if he wants to come to Miami. But Xavier Restrepo has a skill set, has athleticism, has the talent to play here in a given role, and I'm all for it.